Hello,
Hey!
and welcome back to this bonus episode of the I Do Not Have a Clue podcast.
Woohoo! So, this week's episode, we decided that actually it's really important that you get to know us. Who we are, what we do.
And what qualifies us to speak about weddings on a podcast.
True.
So we're going to keep this really chill,
Yeah.
really relaxed, Q&A kind of vibe, I reckon.
Yeah.
Yeah?
Let's just go for it then.
Cool.
So, who are you?
Okay, straight in. I'm Tom, and at the time of recording, which is May 2024, I am 28 years old.
Brilliant.
Who are you?
My name's Em or Emily. Either one. Doesn't really matter. I am 26.
Fantastic.
Thank you.
2 years gap.
Good maths.
I'm great at maths.
Good. So, next question. What do you do in the wedding industry?
What do I do in the wedding industry? So I do a couple of things. I have a few different couple of different companies. I'm going to stop saying a few. Well, three's a few.
I think 3 years
Three's
of you.
a few. So I own a company called the Rockets Collective, which is an entertainment company that was my first business venture in the wedding industry. And we look after all sorts of events, but mostly weddings.
Yeah.
I also have a company called Tom Wyman Weddings, which is me, which is wedding hosting and wedding consultancy.
Yeah.
And just kind of tips and tricks and that kind of thing. And now, this podcast, the I Do Not Have a Clue podcast. So that's the little wedding portfolio, I guess, of businesses.
Nice.
What do you get up to in the wedding industry?
So I work alongside Tom. I help with Tom Wyman Weddings.
Yep.
I also help with the Rockets
You
Collective.
do.
And here I am at this podcast.
On the podcast as well. So a lot of it is crossover.
Yeah.
But I guess you'd expect that from a married couple. I think that's fair.
Yeah, that is so fair. Next question then. What do you do outside the wedding industry?
What I do outside of the wedding industry. So we've got a little dog,
we
haven't
do.
we? Little Vinny. He's a staffy puppy. Well, he's not really a puppy anymore. But
He's one. He's still a puppy.
He is, but he definitely thinks he's a puppy. Even if I think he'll always think he's a puppy.
I think he will too.
But Vinny is our little staffy puppy.
He might
and
make an appearance.
Hopefully he'll make an appearance if he's well behaved enough.
Yeah.
But I love to walk Vinny. Wind, rain or shine. Early morning, late night, whatever time. I just love to walk Vinny. We're really lucky that we live in the middle of nowhere in the countryside. So walking Vinny's an absolute joy. So yeah, love to walk the dog. I absolutely love rugby. I'm obsessed by rugby, watching rugby, talking about rugby, listening to rugby.
Enough.
Okay. But I love rugby.
Yeah.
And if I didn't work in the wedding industry, I probably would be doing something in rugby somewhere.
Definitely.
Not playing, but definitely doing something.
Brilliant.
In the rugby industry, if that's a thing.
Yeah.
I guess it is.
Go with
Anyway,
it.
and I absolutely love barbecues. I love eating, but especially love barbecues. Every opportunity I get to barbecue, I will. I'm always trying new things on the barbecue. Em's a vegetarian, so pescatarian, but so always trying to tick different boxes on the barbecue.
Yeah.
And so the new wedding trend at the moment, or one of the new wedding trends, is a gourmet barbecue. So I'm like,
so exciting.
Absolute win. But yeah, so those are some of the things I get up to outside the wedding industry. What do you do outside the wedding industry?
My life's quite varied. So I am also a qualified pharmacist.
Brain box over there.
No.
Cheers.
I also like cooking, baking. I'm in my gardening era.
Yeah, that's also great.
That's brilliant. And to unwind, I like to watch a bit of reality TV.
You do. You do like to watch reality TV.
It's brilliant.
Namely the Kardashians.
Yeah.
But that's enough. The less said about the Kardashians, the better.
Brilliant.
Like I said, though, in the trailer, it's just an opinion. It's not fact, but it's just an opinion.
They might be really offended listening to this, by the way.
Oh, yeah, because Kim, if you're watching.
What about Courtney and Chloe? And the Jenners?
I didn't know there was more.
Okay, we'll move on swiftly. Love you, Kardashians. My next question is, you've mentioned Tom Wyman Weddings, you've mentioned the Rockets Collective. Briefly, what do you do in those roles?
Okay, so for Tom Wyman Weddings is hosting and wedding consultation, like I said. So I guess what is a wedding host is probably
That is a very, very good question.
Quickly. We're going to do a whole podcast on
Yeah.
wedding hosting. But in short, I'm your best friend. Just there, I haven't got many. I'm your best friend through the wedding process, through the wedding planning process, and on the wedding day, and afterwards, of course. But I'm there to give you unbiased advice.
Yeah.
I'm there to give you an insight into how things work. Not what you should and what you shouldn't be doing, but what you could and what you might not fancy doing.
Yeah.
Something like that, I guess.
And what
then-
you maybe haven't thought of.
Yeah, just trying to...
Broaden your horizons.
Yeah, I think when it comes
Yeah.
to weddings. Pre-wedding, I do a lot of kind of meetings with people
Yeah.
and advice on the timings and how different suppliers work and how things are all going to line up during the day. You're not
Yeah.
supposed to have done it before.
Some
Weddings.
people have.
Some people
and
have.
that's okay.
And that's fine. But
Yeah.
a lot of people enter a wedding not knowing what they're doing, and that's okay.
Yeah.
I guess that's why we're here.
And trends change all the time.
Trends change all the time. But I'm there to just align things before your wedding day, I guess.
Definitely.
And then on the day, ceremony, whether you're having a venue ceremony or you're having a religious ceremony, I'm at that whatever venue that might be to just organise people, tell people where they need to sit, if there's going to be certain sides and that kind of thing.
Yeah.
Make announcements, all of that kind of thing. Also make sure that anybody wearing a tie has got their, not guests, but anybody as part of the bridal party has got their top buttons done up. There's no
Yeah.
flies flying low, all of that kind of thing.
Yeah.
I tend not to get too involved in dresses and things like that
I don't think that would be wise,
overly appropriate
if
or
I'm
wise.
honest.
because clearly
Yeah.
fashion is not my vibe. But in the drinks reception, I organise confetti shots. I help your photographer.
Yeah.
I make sure that the couple have got drinks and canapes.
You call people for photos.
Calling people for photos, helping the photographer with that part.
Yeah.
It always does make it run a little bit more smoothly, I think.
Definitely.
And just generally moving people around.
Yeah.
And then in the transition into the wedding breakfast, calling people through for dinner.
Yeah.
And then getting people excited, getting some energy into the room, playing games, getting the couple's entrance into the room, introducing speeches, all the little bits that you'll hear me say this line quite a bit because it's one of my favourites, but all the little bits that traditionally a best man would have done, but not the best man on his fifth pint.
Yeah.
So that's probably my key. This is why you should book a wedding host. But anyway, it's not a sales ploy. And then going into the evening, emceeing your cake cut, emceeing the first dance.
What's
announcing,
MCing?
MC, just announcing.
Go.
Master of ceremonies, MC. So just in announcing first dances, announcing cake cuts.
Yeah.
And then any fireworks or sparklers or anything like that, the evening food, all of that kind of thing. So just running the day. I'm the front of the day, but I'm not taking the limelight off you.
No.
But I don't want
absolutely
people
not.
asking you guys, where are the toilets? That's not what you should be doing on your wedding
Yeah,
day.
that
as
happens a
wedding
lot,
couple.
actually.
It does. And I'm like, they don't care if you need the toilet.
Yeah.
They're the wedding couple.
Absolutely.
They probably they don't know either. So, but
And-
anyway, and then obviously I've already spoken about Tom Wyman weddings, and that all kind of links, that all links in with the hosting. But then I also have the company called the Rockets Collective. That is an entertainments company.
Yeah.
We mostly look after weddings, but we work
I'd say
in
like 90-95%.
90-95% weddings, but we
Yeah.
also work in the corporate sector with awards ceremonies and corporate parties and just general parties as well.
Fun fact.
We've
You've done
we've done a first Holy Communion party. That was
fun.
that was fun. It was great fun. It was an interesting experience, but yeah, that's part of my job, I guess. But I think with the Rockets Collective, we're specialists, I'd like to say, in looking after the whole wedding day. So obviously
Yeah.
with the hosting, but entertainment, music and entertainment is such a paramount thing for your wedding day that will make or break your wedding day, I think. Anyway, so we can look after your ceremony, we look after the drinks reception, entertainment during the wedding breakfast, show band in the evening, varied show band sizes, late night parties with DJs and sax players and that kind of
Yeah.
thing, production, everything really, like anything to do with entertainment, we're going to look after with the Rockets Collective. So I'm the founder and director of both of those companies.
And what do you do? Like physically, what do you do in the Rockets Collective?
So in the Rockets Collective, well, I run the Rockets Collective, but I am also, when I'm not hosting, I'm a piano player.
Yeah.
So I studied music at university, and now I get to do that for my job, which is great. But yeah, I'm the piano player in the band and sometimes part of the ceremonies and the jazz quartets and that kind of thing if I'm not hosting.
Yeah.
So yeah, that's what I get up to in the wedding industry, and a bit more. But we're going to do a bit more on entertainment and a bit more on hosting in separate episodes. So you mentioned that you work for the Rockets Collective and Tom Wyman Weddings, but in the Rockets Collective, what do you do?
Well, I'm going to keep it really short and brief because actually they do cross over quite a lot.
Yeah, both
roles.
Yeah.
So my official title is project manager.
Yeah.
I basically run things behind the scenes.
Yeah. So I'm fronting the day.
And I am bringing up the rear.
Well, yeah, to want of a better expression. But you're running things behind the scenes. Without you, it wouldn't really run because I'm controlling guests, whereas you need to control people, yeah, and the guys that entertain.
Yeah. So with the Rockets Collective, because we do all day,
big all day packages,
there are sometimes quite a lot of people on site, and I basically make sure that everyone is where they need to be, doing what they're supposed to be doing at that specific time. I basically keep the wedding on track. That's my goal.
Do. When Em's on a wedding, it's on time. I mean, that's a bold statement to say, but when Em's on a wedding...
That's a lot of pressure.
When Em's on a wedding... Yeah, but you thrive on it. When Em's on a wedding, it's on time.
Yeah.
Do you remember that wedding?
Yes.
When your job kind of... Yeah, it happens a lot. Your job takes you into some strange situations, I think.
It does. I have been known to have my head up a bride's dress.
End of podcast.
No. Just before Tom was introducing the married couple into the room, the bride's dress wasn't exactly right.
It broke a little bit. And...
yeah, we just needed to quickly pin it up. So I'm there scrambling, trying to find the little button on the back of her dress, and it was a lot, but we got it. We made it work.
It was.
Yeah.
But you did it, and the couple came into the room, and nobody noticed.
Yeah, literally no one noticed.
But then,
it's quite comical, really.
It is when you look back on it, but at the time, it's like, we need to get this done because Tom is about to say, and the new...
yeah.
Whoever it was. And you're like, ping, off you go.
Yeah.
But then you do a lot kind of in the week as well for the Rockets Collective, don't you?
Yes.
And for Tom Wyman Weddings.
I help with admin, finances, but not the scary finances.
No, you're just normally keeping a check on me, make sure I'm not spending money on vital and important equipment.
Yes. I help with emails, inquiries, basically making sure that we've got all paperwork.
You do a lot of invoicing and contracts, don't you? Like the legal stuff.
Yeah, making sure everything's dotted and crossed.
Yeah, I do a lot of the kind of the client-facing stuff.
Yeah, and I do all the admin.
Do a lot. I've been known to send a couple of emails.
Yeah.
Some.
Yeah.
This is why it works really well as a married couple, and I think that's one of the reasons that we decided to start the I Do Not Have a Clue podcast and talk about weddings, because, as we've said, we're a married couple. We've been married.
Yeah.
So
we are married. What do you mean we've been married?
We've got married, I should say. And we are still married, but we've planned the wedding through a pandemic, as we've mentioned before. So as we said, we work in the wedding industry, so we've been on both sides of the ball.
Yeah.
And
quite recently as well. Quite
recently, yeah. We got married in 2021, didn't we?
So that's 3 years ago.
3 years. We've been together now for 9. So
it's a lot.
Nearly 10 years.
That's crazy if you think about it.
I've put up
10
with you.
I don't think so. I do not think so.
Hook, line, and sinker.
Yeah.
But we've worked we've got a combined experience in the wedding industry of about 14 years.
Yeah, so, it's a lot.
But we still love it, and I think that's the thing. I love talking about. I just love weddings.
Sorry, you're talking.
What?
You said I love talking about weddings.
Okay.
I just went no.
Yeah, you can see this married couple thing's gonna have its downsides to being on a podcast. Not downsides, just downsides on being on a podcast. Anyway, we're waffling. So we love weddings.
We do love weddings.
And we love talking about them. We're always nattering about them and, do you remember this? And, what about this? How good would this be at a wedding? And that kind of thing. We've all got lots of ideas. But just everything, the suited and bootedness, the food, the joy that comes from weddings.
The
it's
aesthetics.
The vibes that kind of all the flowers and everything are
Yeah.
given, but the genuine joy, like we get to be part of, for some people, the biggest day of their life.
Yeah, it's really special.
It's really special, and we really enjoy it. So we wanted to talk about it, but because we feel like we've got lots of knowledge through different industry experiences and years in the wedding industry. I think the other thing as well is we're a similar age to most people getting married.
Yeah, that's true.
So late 20s, early 30s. Obviously, there are people...
Excuse me, I'm mid-20s.
Well, mid to late 20s, early 30s.
Thank you.
Obviously, there are people younger and older than us
Yeah.
getting married, and that's absolutely brilliant. But a lot of people are in that kind of getting married age bracket that we're in. So we're pretty relevant, I think, with the things that we think about and the way that we think things should be done.
Yeah, definitely.
So,
but again, it's only our opinion.
Again, it's our opinion, and we've probably got slightly different opinions on that anyway.
Oh, we do.
And I guess the other reason, the main reason that we set up the podcast is there's a lot of strong opinions out there.
Yeah, there are.
People that will tell you this is how to do a wedding. And that's just not our vibe. That's not our vibe at all.
Us.
We just want to show that there is no right way to do a wedding or no wrong way to do a wedding. There is your way to do your wedding.
And it's so personable.
It is. It's a personal thing.
Yeah.
And you're going to have, when you get engaged, you're going to have lots of people saying, do this, do this. You're going to listen to other podcasts that say, this is what you should do at this time of day. Obviously, you're not going to probably have a wedding ceremony at 3:00 in the morning. You definitely could.
Oh, you could.
You might have to pay your suppliers a bit more to come at that time.
Yeah.
But there are certain things that you should do, but with regards to the bare basics. But I think apart from that, even then, but apart from that, we want to just show that it's a completely open book.
Yeah.
We're all for tradition. We're all for throwing the rule book out the window.
It's your day.
But we're
you
here.
do it the way that you want to do.
Exactly. Your day, your way is the kind of vibe that we go for. But yeah, so that's us. That's us. We're your hosts of the I Do Not Have a Clue podcast. Tom and Emily. And we hope that gives you a little bit of an insight into who we are and why we do what we do and why we're doing the I Do Not Have a Clue. I Do Not Have a Poo podcast. Oh, fantastic. There it is.
Tom.
The I Do Not Have a Clue podcast. I can't believe I've just done that. But
wow.
Thanks so much for listening. And we will see you in the next episode of the
I Do Not Have a Clue podcast, which clearly Tom doesn't have a clue.